Hello everybody and welcome to the 15th episode of the MyMuddlings podcast. My name is Julianne and I am your host, and I'm recording here on the 21st of November in Adelaide, which is where I live, and I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers to my podcast. I'm glad that you're able to take some time out with me today. So, it's a pretty warm day here today. It was very hot yesterday. Simon and I actually had to put the air conditioner on because it was getting so hot. Granger has been very huffy puffy as he's been wandering around. And we have this, our house is double brick, so it stays cool to a certain point, but after yesterday I can feel that the house is beginning to warm up, which is not great because I don't like summer. But that is what we're coming into now, so I'm going to have to deal with it. My hair is beginning to really bother me because it's so thick and there is so much of it, and I don't really want to cut it off, but it is very hot. So today I don't have a great deal to share. I don't have a shop update this week. I do have some yarn that I did dye. I've got a finished object and a couple of whips. But other than that, I was thinking of doing a bit more of a blathery podcast because there's just a few things that I've been wanting to chat about, also, partly personal, partly to do with crafting. So I thought I would quickly run through my projects that I've been working on, and then at the end maybe fill up the rest of the time with a bit of blather. So hopefully you'll stick around and it won't be too boring for you. Okay, so I'll start with my finished object, which is just some socks. I have shown these to you before. They're just my regular vanilla sock with a fish lips kiss heel, so you can see there, and this is Knit Picks Felici in the Kaleidoscope colourway. So I really like these bright. I love even though I'm not a neon person, I actually really like this neon green that's in there. The yellow is actually showing up a little bit more orange on the screen than it is in real life. It's actually quite vibrant in real life. But yeah, these are pretty fun. There's not really much to tell you. If you've been watching the podcast before, you kind of know how I make my vanilla socks. So it's just a regular wedge toe, my fish lips kiss heel, 64 stitch cast on. So that's those. Not really much more to say about them. So that's my my FO for today. And I'm not working with any notes today because I actually couldn't remember what I had to talk about. So I'm just here and I've just grabbed a bunch of stuff that's been lying around and I'm going for it. My whips are both socks. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen both of them. You probably would have seen those other socks as well. My first... well, I've got two hose and I've started the pairs for them. So this is the Tannenbaum sock, which is by, I think, Jennifer L. Morgan. I'll just check my iPad beside me. And this is knit from my Christmas colourway, which is Bar Humbug. So it's like a grey, a tonal or semi-solid, probably grey base with green, red and yellow flecks. So this is a Christmas themed sock. And I'm really happy with this. It's really good. This is for my podcaster festive sock swap that is going on over in the Eva Christie Hand Knits podcast board on Ravelry. And yeah, this is my first sock for my swap partner. It's pretty straightforward pattern. There is these bits on the cuff as I was working on them again last night on the second sock. They're a bit of a you know what to perform. You need a cable needle, you need to be slipping stitches, and they're quite I find them quite frustrating. They do look very nice. I'm glad that I've done them, and I did actually have to completely rip out my second sock because I forgot how to do them. But this is how far I've got on the second sock. So I've just started getting up to the twist stitches and Christmas tree motif on the leg. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. The yarn turned out really great. I'm really happy with it. I think I mentioned last week it's a little bit like these lighter sections because this was my prototype that I did. So the lighter sections I don't think will show up in any, if you order any Bar Humbug from me. I don't think you'll have quite so much of that white, which is actually pale grey, but Yes, Tannenbaum socks, really, really good pattern, very effective. So yeah, I'm really thrilled with those, and I really need to get the second one done so I can ship it off to my sock swap partner. And my other whip is a pair of socks that I'm making for a friend of mine, and these are knit out of, I think her name was Knit Cozy. I don't think she's dying anymore. Or Love Knit Cozy, I think is maybe what the name was. And this is Silky Sock that I got from a club that I was a part of. I had a 3-month coffee club membership with her, and this yarn is 55% BFL and 45% silk according to the tag. Her yarn page on Ravelry actually has a different, I think she's got 70/30 on there, but my tag that I have with this yarn is 55/45. So I found that this yarn is actually really hard on my hands, so I think that probably does have that high silk content. You probably cannot see it on the camera, but it has a really lovely sheen due to the silk. So these colours aren't really my colours, and the person that I'm knitting them for, I can't actually really remember. We've never had a discussion about favourite colours, and I really can't remember what I can remember her wearing, but I think she wears a lot of neutrals. So this is about as neutral as my sock yarn stash kind of gets, like with the browns and the creams, and it's got that bit of orange. The colourway I think was called Orange Spice Iced Coffee, Starbucks Orange Spice Iced Coffee, I think, because it was a coffee club that I was a part of. So yeah, coffee club yarn, coffee yarn club, whatever it was. I think I actually joined this club either in 2013 or 2014, so it's been a very long time since I have had this yarn, so it's really good to get it out. And I've only just really started the second sock. I'm just doing it top down. I'm doing it in my regular 64 stitch top down sock. She does have a smaller foot than me. I am about a size 9 Australian. She's a size 7, so it's a little bit shorter, which is good because it means it's not so not so much foot knitting. So yes, I've got half of hers done, and I've got, if you do follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen the other day that I was teasing myself by looking at sweater patterns to cast on a sweater, and I don't need a sweater. As I said, it's coming into summer. Like, that's just cray-cray. Like, Jules, what are you thinking, honestly? So needless to say, I didn't cast on a sweater. I've got a ton of baby knits, and I actually got my higher circs today so that I can work on the flax sweater. You can just see it there. The flax sweater for my new niece. So I can do that in the round now because I've only got really crappy bamboo DPNs. So that will be worked on this week, and her baby sprinkle, as it's being called, is on the 11th of December, so I need to kind of have the blanket and the sweater done by the 11th to give to her. And the socks, I'll be seeing my friend, I think on the 6th of December, and the podcaster sock swap, I need to find out when those are needing to be sent, because it does have to go internationally, so it's all kind of piling up on me. But that's what I've been working on, my finished objects. Probably the only thing is really, I've been doing some spinning. I've been forcing myself to do some spinning because I really want to get that Falklands Merino done. It is beautiful. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous yarn. It is spinning up really fine. It's gorgeous colours. I'll put a photo in so you can see where I'm up to. I think I've got about a fifth or less of the braid left to go. I was hoping to finish it yesterday, but with the heat, and Simon was in here playing Tomb Raider all day, and so I took the wheel into the dining room and was doing some spinning in there. It was a bit warm, So I gave up and I came back in here because we only have an air conditioner in the lounge up on the wall. So yes, so that's not done yet. I would like to get it done. Hopefully I'll have it done next week. I have also done some dyeing, which is not for the shop. I have had some Nitpicks stroll. Well, let's go back to the very beginning. I'm going to chew up all of my blather time. I knit a pomme de pin cardigan a fair while ago, and I knit it from Nitpicks Wool of the Andes in their sport weight. And it was beautiful, and I loved this cardigan. It was just gorgeous, and it fit really well, and it was just, oh, it was just my favourite thing, like favourite garment that I had knit to that point. And I needed to wash it because I wore it over and over and over and over again. I hadn't blocked it, I don't think, and I just wore it, and I'm like, okay, well, this needs a bath. Let's give it a bath. So I was very gentle with it because Wool of the Andes is known for being really a good felter. So I knit it. I washed it very gently and cold. I didn't agitate. It was just sort of soaked there for a bit. I pulled it out and did what I normally do with my knits, is to put them in a delicates bag and just give them a gentle spin in the washing machine just to get all the water out. And I don't know how, but it felted. And I mean, I know it's a great felter, but don't you need soap and heat and agitation for felting? It was all cold, it was well rinsed, there shouldn't have been any soap. And it was only, I think, a 600 RPM spin. So it was on the lowest spin I could possibly do in my washing machine. And it felted and it shrunk. And I was devastated. 100% devastated. And I just feel so sad when I think about that sweater. But anyway, the reason that I'm talking to you about this is I bought, I think, very, very early on when Nitpicks was available in Australia, I bought enough of their Stroll Sport Bear, because you can't get Stroll Sport coloured. So this was before I was even dyeing. And I just went, oh, okay, well, I can dye it. That's easy. So I've had these skeins of the bear in my stash for a really long time. And I've been fiddle-faddling around trying to pick a colour. I knew I wanted some sort of grey purple, and in my very early dyeing days I did a bunch of tests where I put some purple on, various levels of purple and black, to try and get some sort of purplish grey. But anyway, with what I know now and my added experience, I did some dyeing on Saturday because I had sudden inspiration that I thought I might have something that I would be happy with, and this is what I came up with. And so it's blowing out a little bit, but yeah, I love this, and I think this is what I'm going to do for my bear skeins. So I've got two different shades of purple in here. I've got a lilac and a purple, and I did them in a semi-solid method of dyeing. So you've got those lovely splashes, like in here it's like the lilac has turned to a pale grey, and then you've got the purple here, and then you've got these charcoal bits where more of the black has hit. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. I was thinking it might have needed more black, but Simon said to me, no, I think it's okay. I think it's a good level, and he said you've got that sort of silver in there, which is really quite nice. So and you know, you get these shots of the darker, so I think this is what I'm going to go with. So this is just on my regular fingering weight, and I did actually need some fingering weight because I'm doing a piece along that won't start until the 28th of November, so I think I needed over a skein for that, so I might actually use this to do that cowl in the piece along. So that's my dyeing. I probably will do some of this for the shop eventually. I don't have any plans at this stage to do any dyeing this week. But yes, that's what I've been working on. So I've got about 5 minutes left, and I might do a bit of blather. First up, actually, I do have a shop announcement. I do have a code for 30% off in my shop at the moment. I'm trying to have a clear out so that I can get myself sort of semi-sorted to start 2017. So if you use the code SPRING30 in the MyMuddlings Etsy shop, you can get 30% off your purchase, except for the Christmas kits. They are not included in the sale. So yeah, if you've liked anything that I've shown you before, head on over there and have a look and see if it's still there, and take advantage of the coupon code. 30% will get you pretty good discount over there. So head on over there and do that. Also, I've been thinking for people who are customers of my shop that I might do some sort of survey to find out what type of colours you like best, bases that you prefer, weights that you prefer, and just things like that, so I can sort of plan where I want to head for 2017, because it is getting up to the pointy end of the year. I don't know that I'm going to be doing a ton to do shop updates now that it's coming into late November and December, because just Christmas things and family things and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping to continue doing the podcast every week, so that should still keep going, but the shop might I'll still process any orders that come through of existing stock, but I don't know whether I'll be doing too much to add to the shop. So that's kind of a shop announcement that I have, just that I've got that sale going, and yeah, that I'm going to be sending out a survey at some stage over the social medias, and if you are interested in sharing your thoughts, I would love for you to answer the survey. So I guess just some of the personal blather that I wanted to talk about is, I've spoken, I think, on one of my very early episodes that I suffer from depression and anxiety, and lately I have been struggling a lot with the depression side of things just over the last few weeks. As I said last week, I've not been sleeping very well, and that also takes a toll. And my mood has been a little bit flat of late, so I just wanted to kind of, I don't know, I just felt like it was something that I wanted to share, just in case I am funny on social media, not funny, haha, but a bit strange on social media, if I say some weird stuff before if I disappear for short amounts of time. That could be something that I'm struggling with. I have gained back some of the weight that I lost. I am still down on where I was initially, but I've been really struggling to be motivated to do my exercise and to follow. I do what is called the fast diet, or the 5-in-2 diet, and I've really been struggling with doing the fast days in that. I start the day and I do really well, and it gets to about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I mostly do them on days that Simon is at work, so I'm here alone, and I guess without having somebody here for me to say, hey, don't let me eat, I have been going and binging, which is very, very old behaviour that I used to use to cope with my mental health. So I've been struggling with these things lately, and I just felt like, I don't know, I feel like I wanted to let you guys know. Maybe I need support. Maybe this is me reaching out, which is not something that I generally do. And maybe it's also so that if I say anything that's a bit weird to you, it's not personal. It's probably just me dealing with my stuff. So that's kind of all I really need to say about that, I think. I don't want to go too in depth, and it's not here as attention seeking or wanting a reaction from you. It's just more a heads up, just in case I do something really dumb or say something a little bit insensitive. It's just because I'm in my own head. So yes, let's talk about something else. The thing that I did want to talk about that has been really weighing on me is actually something I alluded to last week, and that was about my stash. And I don't want to go into it too much because I am getting to the 20-minute point, and that's kind of a level where it's comfortable for me to upload. But I did my stash on Ravelry because you know you can download a PDF of all of your stash. And I went through and I found out that I had 118,000 yards of yarn in stash. And I just kind of went, you know, like where the heck did all of that come from? And I mean, I guess I've been accumulating for 3 years and I have very bad impulse control. So, and I am the one who does all of the accounts. So I guess I have a little bit extra. I know how much money we have and I know what money we need to pay bills, and maybe somewhere along the line extra money has gone to yarn, I'm assuming. So you probably saw on Instagram, if you follow me over there, that I bought I'm not going to show it because it's over there and I'd have to go and get it, but I'll put in a picture. I got a palette set from Wool and Vine Yarns, which features 4 skeins of yarn that are in colourways that she used for her exploration station shawl, which I just loved. This shawl was just beautiful, and I'll pop a picture in as well so you can see that. But I bought this pack of yarn, and knowing that I already had all of this yarn in my stash, and I'd already decided that I wasn't going to purchase any more yarn, but I think it was just too good a deal to be, because I mean, if you've tried to buy Kristen's yarn, you know sometimes it's very hard to get what you want because it goes so quickly. And I knew these sets were coming up and I was there before her update time, and I just went bam in my cart, buy. Because I know she's got settings now that there's no cart jacking for 5 minutes. I think you can have something in your cart for 5 minutes before it gets released back for someone else to buy. So I grabbed my set, I purchased it, and that is now my last purchase. I'm saying it here. There will be no more yarn acquisitions. I do not have as much fibre as I do yarn, because that's more of a newer part of my hobby. So I will be working through my fibre stash as well as my yarn stash. And I'm going to try and get that amount of yarn down. I guess I'm going to probably have to exclude yarn that I am spinning as part of, you know, stashing down, because I guess it's kind of different. But yeah, I worked out last year I did 24,000 yards of knitting out, and this year I think I'm tracking to perhaps get about 18 or 19,000 yards out. So working on those numbers, the amount of yarn that I have in stash will have me knitting for 5 years. Or nearly 5 years. It's 4 3/4 years or something. So that's quite scary to me, that I have nearly 5 years worth of yarn in my stash. So I will be on a kick to try and whittle that down. I'm going to probably be going through and seeing if there's some stuff that I can put in a D-stash, and I'll definitely have that on Instagram, and I'll put it in the boards and things in case, you know, you're interested in grabbing some of my D-stash yarn. But yeah, that was quite shocking. And guys, if you think that you don't have a big stash, and you do, I mean, I record all of my stash in Ravelry, so I know that I have it, and I can easily look up yardages, and I can help myself to find patterns. So yes, if you don't think you have a lot, and you do track it all, definitely have a look at it, and you might be surprised, because I was amazingly, like I said, just mind blown. I had no idea I had that much in there. So I think that's going to be my 2017 thing. Is I don't want to say that I'm cold sheeping, honestly, because if something like the Wool and Vine pack comes along that's like mega hard to get, really special, I might break. But on the whole, I'm going to try and work down my stash. And I mean, maybe we'll do a year-long knit-along next year. And instead of doing a year of socks like I've been doing for just one more row and that kind of thing, maybe we'll do a stash down knit along perhaps. I'd love to know whether you'd be interested in that, and you know, we can have random prizes through the year maybe, and have a grand prize at the end for the person who's stashed down the most. And there will be criteria about how old the stash can be. So if it's new yarn, you can't use it. But I might nut that out. If you guys are interested in that, maybe we'll do that next year. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with my stash, because it was just such a shock. And yeah, that was really surprising. But anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to just have that little personal note in there as well. I just want to assure you that I have no intention of stopping the podcast, so that's not a thing that that I can foresee happening. I will continue to do it weekly because I love being here and I love getting the feedback from you guys. So I guess I probably should leave it there. It's getting a bit long, and all I have left really is to wish you well. Happy crafting. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.